Hi everyone, it's Melissa here with WTF, or aka Wednesday Thought Forum, and we are shooting live episode number 31. Today we are going to be talking about stress and the impacts that it has, but also how you can stay calm, cool, and collected in very stressful situations. So if you're joining us, wave so I can acknowledge and post any questions that you may have, and I'll try and address those as we go. But we will start. Hi, Jennifer. Glad you can make it this evening. We are just talking about stress. Ironically, with my website and everything, I've never talked about stress before to a degree. So we're going to talk about stress, the impacts it can have, and then how to stay calm, cool, and collected in stressful situations. So with that being said, everyone crosses the path of stress at some time or other. Question is, how do you deal with it? Or do you even know the impacts that it may have on your body or well-being? Hi, Dave. Nice to see you. Hopefully retirement is treating you well. We are just talking about stress and impacts and how to avoid those or staying calm, cool, and collective. So some stress things that stress does affect is like your digestive system, immunity, and the function of your immune system. It also messes with cognition and then also your mood. If you want to revisit my WTF video on mood, it's in episode number 12. You can find it at WTF or my website, thinkmefirst.com. Also on YouTube, if you just go to the search bar and type in Melissa Shim, that'll take you to all the WTF videos. But that's episode number 12. So getting back, so stress is the body's response to changing your body's response to changing your environment, or when your environment seems unsafe, is when most people start to stress. So ask yourself, does the mind and the body actually connect with stress? The answer is yes. The body and the mind are two in one. So actually your physical body impacts your emotions and vice versa. Both will influence your stress levels. So for example, and I think I use this as a common one because I think most people have you ever felt nauseous when you get anxious? And like an interview or something like that, or maybe you're in trouble or you did something wrong, or something bad or traumatic has happened. When you're anxious like that, you do get nauseous. And again, this is an example of that mind and body connection. The effects of stress and the effects of stress on your mind and body. No one is... Hi, Erica. Nice to see you. Glad you can make it this evening. And Kelly's watching as well. Thank you, too, for joining. If you have any questions, anyone, just post them in there. We'll try and answer those as a group. But the effects of stress on the mind and body, no one that I know, anyways, is immune to stress. The best thing to do in these situations is to have preventable measures so that the stress doesn't last long term. So we've already talked about some of the issues that stress causes, but here are three of the lesser known effects, and you may not have even thought about this, but stress does weaken your immune system. So have you ever thought about the last time that you were like maybe severely worried about something? It affected your sleep and again, your cognitive skills and things of that nature. And then everything just kind of goes downhill. Next thing you know, you're sick. Perfect example of that. It also causes gut problems like ulcers and things of that nature, because your gut and your brain are constantly talking to each other or communicating to each other. Again, this is when you feel anxious, then again, you have maybe a nauseous feeling. And then the last one is depression. And a lot of people may not even think that stress will cause depression because, everyone's going through it. There's just certain levels and then how you react to that can put you in a depression if you let it go. Throughout my divorce, I was very stressed in certain situations, and I actually do believe that I had actually hit a point where I was in a deep depression. It took a huge total transformation of mindset for me to get out of that. But, I didn't know that it would lead to depression, but I guess when it just compounds and compounds, it can easily do that and get out of control without you knowing. So don't allow stress to take over your life. That's my message to you. And you do have two choices when you're in this particular situation. You can either let the stressors suffocate you and your health and well-being, or you can transfer those wounds into wisdom, and that's what I chose to do, and rewrite my new story. And that's what I did. And hence WTF and my website and YouTube videos, things of that nature, again, just to help others. But along this process, it's okay to be scared. You're human. And it does happen. I mean, I was totally scared because this is something totally new. I wasn't experienced with it. A lot of people you may talk to may not, or you may not even want to talk to anyone about it. So it's totally normal to feel that way. But allow yourself to feel all these feelings and emotions, because you're going to be happy one moment and sad the next and angry the next. Allow yourself to feel that way, okay? That's part of the process as well. Just take a deep breath, trust yourself, and move on. So how do we stay calm and cool when we're extremely stressed? Well, being in a hurry. Hi, Alyssa. Nice to see you. Glad you could join us this evening. We are just talking about stress and the impacts they have and how to control that and stay calm and cool in excessive stressful situations. So being in a hurry all the time and worrying, it's a drain on your energy. And in the U.S., I know we are just so fast paced and it's so easy to fall into. Whether it's work or life, we're just feeling overwhelmed all the time. And these all cause stress. You may not feel stressed all the time, but they do compound, and finally you probably reach your breaking point. So they cause stress to a degree. But here are 8 quick steps that you can do to keep calm, cool, and collected in those extremely stressful situations. Number 1 is to breathe. I know it sounds simple, but breathing is huge in stressful situations. Basically, you just want to stop for a moment, take 5 deep breaths, and imagine all your stress leaving on every exhale. And this kind of resets your emotions. Maybe you can cognitively get reestablished, so you can make reasonable decisions at the time. And then I know this sounds really silly too, and I do this a lot, but smile. Even if it's fake, just smile. Again, I know it sounds silly, but sometimes I do this to myself, or I may just laugh even though I'm miserable, because it kind of gets me out of a bad mood. I mean, it's hard to stay grumpy when you have a goofy grin on your face. And they say it's easier to smile and be happy than it is to be sad and frowning all the time. It takes more muscles to frown than smile, I guess. Number 2 would be to loosen up. And a lot of you may have experienced this. I know I did when I was going through my depression or divorce and traumatic experience. But I would clench my teeth a lot at night and not know that. Sometimes we'll clench our jaw when we get very stressed. A lot of times we'll feel tension in our shoulders. So sometimes if you just touch those spots that are very have a lot of tension in them, it's just a cognitive feel, and then you kind of let loose. So that helps, and just acknowledging it is just a simple application to apply to that. Number 3 would be to chew slowly. And I say this because the faster you eat, the more you're likely to eat, then you gain weight, then you start to worry. But also remember that gut and brain connection that we have when you eat very quickly. Sometimes you get the bellyache, and then you're just in a miserable mood, and it can cause stress indirectly. So number 4 is going to be let it go. And I don't know if you guys remember, but I have a WTF video on that as well. And it's episode 11 if you want to revisit that. Or again, you can find it on WTF, and then the YouTube channel and my website, Thank Me First. But as far as I know, and as far as I've experienced, stress and worrying has never helped anyone in a negative situation turn positive. Never heard of it. So just let it go and move on. Number 5 would be to enjoy the ride or the journey that you're on. I think we talked about it last week, I think, with effective listening. Sometimes we focus on the end result, and that can be exhausting. And if you focus on the end result, then you are not acknowledging the process. And so it's very important to focus on the process as well, because your results may change, or you may have to change the process. Don't set expectations, but do set many goals. And don't focus on the negative, but do focus on the positive. Number 6 is going to be looking at the big picture. So ask yourself, when you're going through this stressful situation, after you breathe and all those things, ask yourself, will this matter to me in a week? Or will this matter to me in a month? Or a year? Maybe 10 years? I'm going to give you a hint right now. It's not going to matter. I'm just saying. So stop agonizing over it. Do not agonize over things that you cannot control. Number 7 is going to be, oh, hi, Lindsay. Nice to see you. We are talking about stress and the impacts and how to stay calm, cool, and collected in those stressful situations. So thanks for joining. We are at number 7, which is stop demanding perfectionism from yourself. I don't think I have a WTF on this one because I started afterwards, but if you go to thinkmefirst.com and in the research bar or in the search bar, just type in perfectionism, I do have an article on this that you can read. It's pretty good. But anyways, you want to keep in mind that you are not a perfect person. I have not met a perfect person. So striving for perfection, knowing that it's impossible, all you're going to do is cause unnecessary stress. So be practical. It's not possible to be perfect, so don't expect perfect. And finally, last but not least, is practice patience every day. I like this quote. I don't know who the author of this quote is, so excuse me for that. But the quote says, have patience. All things are difficult before they become easy. And I truly believe that, especially if they're worth waiting for. Oh, Lindsay needs this video. That's good, Lindsay. I'm glad I can help you out. I think we all do. I mean, this has been, we're talking about number 8, practicing patience. I think God is like making us all practice patience in the U.S. here, and I'm sure the world is watching as well. So I think everyone's getting a lesson in practicing patience this week. So some ways to practice patience. I'm just going to give you a couple, and they're really going to seem silly, but seriously, it's just all a matter of training your brain. But a good way to practice patience is to, when you go to the grocery store and you're going to check out, simply choose the longest line. That's enough patience, that's enough to work on your patience. Or find the busiest city to drive in and during traffic hour or rush hour. I always tease with my husband because he lived in the city, I lived in the country, and I hated rush hour. And I said, in the country, the only thing that causes traffic is a combine going down the road. So if anyone's from the country, you get that joke. Number 2 would be going maybe through instead of going through the drive-through at the bank, you walk in and again, choose the longest line. That'll test your patience in practice. And then just another thought, and there's tons of thoughts. These are just ones that I'm blurting out real quick. But maybe take a secluded walk through a park or a long trail. And these are just all ways that you can practice that. But it all just comes down to just challenge yourself to practice patience. So the final thoughts that I have for this evening is just stay calm in stressful situations. It does work out a lot better for you in the long run. And it's possible with daily practice. Taking deep breaths and eating mindfully are all ways to train your brain to be more patient. Hi, Heather. Nice to see you this evening. We are just talking about stress and the impacts and how to avoid that in stressful situations. So thanks for joining this evening. Final thoughts. So when you change the way you think about situations or stressful situations and you stay positive, you're naturally going to keep your cool and stay calm. So that's kind of all I have for this evening on stress. If there's anything that you want to talk about, feel free to drop a message in the comments below this video, and I'd be more than welcome to talk about them in the next WTF if you're struggling with something. That's what we're here for. And if you're new and you like this content here, you can also find me at Think Me First. I have a blog of, I think I just hit 65 articles now. So I have a blog there, and on that blog you can also, oh, Kelly's saying thank you for all you do. I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone that shows up and participates, all the comments I get back. It's just wonderful. So thank you for what you guys do for me too. And the group, so you can again find me at the thinkmefirst.com, and that's a whole self-improvement site. And I also have a section on narcissism. And then you can also find, you can sign up for emails there too. My emails are just once or twice a week, and they're pretty much extra tips, tricks, hacks that you would not find on my website or at WTF. And then I also am on Pinterest. If you want to look for me there, it's just when you get on Pinterest, it's Missy Think Me First. And then you can also find me on YouTube. And again, you just go to the search bar and type in Melissa Shim, and all my videos are there. If you go to YouTube, if you could please subscribe and hit notifications. I'm trying to reach 100. I don't pay much attention to YouTube. I've been focused on these other platforms, trying to work on YouTube. But if I hit 100, then I can actually use my name, Think Me First. But anyways, again, as usual, I am very grateful for everyone that showed up or watches the replay. And don't forget, drop in the comments if there's something you want to speak about next week at WTF or even in the group. So again, I appreciate you guys. Love you all, and have a great evening. Thank you.